Hi guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Ray Anticristo. So welcome. Today our topic is testing guidelines for electrical testing and pre-commissioning. So what are those requirements? Through my slides, you can see all of the relevant documents, guidelines, how to start your electrical testing and pre-commissioning testing. So this is our guidelines. When a facility defined in the approved project scope, construction documentation, drawings, and specification, and material requisition has been installed and pre-commissioned and is available for commissioning and startup. So this is the guidelines. And then we are also following the pre-commissioning forms are based on industry standards IEEE, ANSI, NEMA, UL, and IEC. So those the international standard, as well as the basic requirements of several major equipment manufacturers. And the pre-commissioning forms describe the minimum requirements to ensure that the electrical equipment addressed will perform reliable and in accordance with the industry. Kaya minsan, meron tayong mga checklist at meron tayong mga sinusunod. So this is the minimum requirements. At depende sa company, meron silang sariling checklist at test sheets. Yun yung mga requirements. And we have electrical test reference information. This is for the insulation resistant test. If you are working in the construction, you're always hear these sounds that's always proceed for IR. Proceed for IR. We do the continuity test. We do the IR test. So this is insulation resistant test. Measure the insulation resistant test, the face to face to ground, and within 1 minute. And then the test voltage and minimum acceptable values, we have 100 up to over 5,000 volts. Okay, that is equipment rating. And then recommended test voltage by range. For example, you have the grade voltage, it's 250. So the recommendation for test voltage, your test equipment, you have to inject 500 volts. And also, for example, you have 600 volts, your test voltage is only 1000. That is a recommended value test voltage. And all of the company, they have a checklist, they have a testing sheets, and the information is also there. And also during the calibration of your test equipment, there is information there written what is the equipment voltage and recommendation for the test voltage. So all of that, as you can see in your calibration certificate for your multi-tester or meager, and also this is your testing guideline. Okay, so values of insulation resistance less than manufacturer, kasi meron tayong mga manufacturer standard din, manufacturer recommendation, so meron din tayong sinusundan. Okay, its rated voltage plus 1 kV in mega ohms should be investigated over potential of high potential test should not proceed unless insulation resistance level are equal to above or listed minimum values. Minsan kasi mayroong mga test equipment natin, kaya hinahanap natin during sa testing, during sa commissioning, pre-commissioning, hinahanap natin yung calibration certificate ng equipment para sure tayo na ito ay talagang calibrated, which is ready using for your testing. So high potential test that we called high pot. Lagi nating napapanginggan kung nasa construction, inspection. So na high pot na ba yan? O let's say kung nasa FAT ka. So atin ka na sa vendor. Sa vendor, meron kang FAT doon. No, check mo rin 'yon. So DC, which is direct current, a direct current high potential test controlled over voltage test is one which increase of applicable direct voltage is controlled. The measured current is continuously observed for abnormalities with the intention of stopping the test before breaking occurs. So, ayan. Polarization index test should be performed or large rotating equipment applying. So, tine-check din natin yung polarity ng equipment, no? Let's say kung mag-testing ka ng bus bar, mag-testing ka ng current transformer o CBCT, tapos yung yung phasing na yan, RYB, marami tayong mga testing. So, this is for the guidelines, how it works. The polarization index is calculated by dividing the 1-minute resistance value by the 10-minute resistance value. After the initial 10-minute test, the DC test voltage should be increased in 10 uniform steps, each being 1 minute. So, meron din tayong recommendation dyan, yun sa mga ganitong testing from the vendor. Pag sinabi ng vendor, itong ganitong test lang, 20. Ang pinaka-maximum natin, 20 micro or mega, mga ganun. So, depende yan sa recommendation. At makikita lagi yan as a recommendation ng company dun sa pre-commissioning test sheets. So, high potential testing of cable, the DC test voltage is applied in a minimum of 4 steps. Each step is approximately equal to related RMS voltage of the cable. So, 1 minute duration each except the final test voltage. Okay? So, lagi yan, tinetest natin, 1 minute yan during sa testing natin. So, AC test, high potential test, phase to ground and phase to phase. Test voltage shall be in accordance with the manufacturer recommendation. When the manufacturer recommendation values are not available, the values of listed following tables can be used. So, meron yan, meron yung mga recommendation galing sa vendor. Pag wala, ito yung mga value na magamit natin as per IEC. Yun yung binanggit ko kanina dun sa mga recommendation nila. So, we're using standard guidelines. So, 2.5 kV. So, that is equipment rating. And then, the test voltage naman, nandito yun siya sa kabila. So, 60, 6, 10, 14, 24. So, yun yung guidelines natin. Okay, guys? And also, there is how to calculate recommendation maximum values of field test voltage are determined by the following. So, ito yung paano ka mag-compute. Let's say kasi sa site, minsan magtatalo kayo dahil wala kayong basihan. So, how much the test voltage we apply? Maybe 20, or maybe 15, or maybe 16. So, it depends on the voltage giving from the vendor. Kasi kapag meron kang switchgear, meron kang mga panel, meron niyang vendor na nagbibigay ng recommendation. Let's say 80 ang binigay, so reduce mo yan, bawasan mo yan 20%. So 20 kV, so 20% bawas, so ganito na lang ang testing natin. So 16 kV na lang. So ngayon pag talagang tinutotal natin, resulta ito yun, AC test 0.75 times, close parenthesis, may column, 2 times equipment maximum voltage. Let's say kung 20 kV plus mo 1 kV times mo ng 0.75. So that's the result. Okay? And low voltage cable. Testing sa kable. So perform DC high potential testing sa critical cables after installation. So lagi po nating tinetesting yan. So from inspection towards the pre-commissioning and commissioning. So dadaan ng mga testing yan. Hindi pwedeng i-energize yung equipment pag walang testing. Okay? Lahat dadaan ng testing. Switchgear and metal enclosed bus. Perform AC high potential test in each bus section, face to face and face to ground in 1 minute. Maximum test voltage shall be as listed above. Yun yung kuha natin, yung sinasabi kanina. At the same time, pag sinabing contact resistance, meron tayong tinatawag na conductivity test. So, yung sa bus bar natin, meron tayong conductivity test at marami pang mga testing. Kapag mag-commission ka, kailangan marami yung mga testing yan, dadaanan mo dun sa MyComm, sa mga relay, at sa mga feeder, yung mga breaker na yan. So, lahat yan dadaan ng mga testing. So, hindi pwedeng i-energize natin without the testing. And also, here, we have thermovision inspection. We have new insulating oil test requirements. Ito yung mga guidelines natin. And also, dielectric fluid specification, new insulation oil and receive before transformer filing. Okay, filling. So, that is our test and limit value. So, dyan tayo nagbabase din. Kung dielectric strength, 30 limit niya, yung value niya, tapos power factor, ito yung gagamitin mong power factor, depende. So, internal. So, yan. So, malalaman mo yan pag nasa commissioning ka at nasa testing ka ng mga sa vendor. So, the following torque value for general reference. So, the manufacturer recommendation torque values should be used. So, let's say kung magto-torquing ka, meron tayong mga, usually kung nasa inspection, construction, at meron sinasabi, as per, ano ba yan, kung ano yan, 10 mm ba, 12 mm ba, 5/16, so this is the equivalent torque value niya. Tapos, pag merong recommendation sa vendor, we'll always follow the recommendation of the vendor. Let's say, pag sinabi 12 mm, ito yung recommendation ng vendor, 50 Newton, yung torque natin. Yun yung mga ginagamit natin. So, that's only the recommendation guidelines. So, the maximum torque listed 10% to 20% for plated or lubricated bolts. So, ito, bigyan ko kayo ng example sa testing, sa actual result. So, meron tayo, ititest natin yung cable continuity, phase, tapos Y phase, B phase, tapos insulation resistance tayo. Let's say 5,000 volts DC for 1 minute. Yan ang result niya sa insulation resistance, RY. At tinitesting mo dyan, makikita mo, HV test, 40 giga-ohms. Tapos after HV test, kasi kailangan meron niya, pag tinitest mo, una, conductivity, tapos continuity, insulation resistance, tapos high path mo siya. Pag after high path, another insulation resistance, yun yung maging resulta. Biglan mo tumaas yung high sa after high path test. So after HB test, tumaas yung reading niya. So applied voltage, yan lahat. So anong klaseng equipment na ginamit? Multimeter. So model Fluke 1587. So Meager MIT 515, high path tester, HBA 60. So marami tayong mga equipment. So that's all, guys. Ito yung mga samples natin. I hope that this presentation, it's giving you a value so that you can understand and you can start your testing requirements. What is the requirements? What is the minimum requirements? And then what is the test voltage that required? And how minutes can we run for our testing?